Thanksgiving time. So we have a while to go. I was talking to my daughter. She's in Utah, and she's like, oh, the leaves are changing. And it's so beautiful. So I'm Courtney Koenig, and I'm igniting your human design to become a powerful, profitable, purposeful boss of your business, of your career, and of your life. We have LaChelle Wieme on, and she is a spiritual-led entrepreneur who knows what it's like to juggle a career, a family, and a deeper calling. And we've met through a similar coaching program, and she has the most beautiful energy, the most beautiful spirit. She's helping women who are called to step into their divine purpose. And she just sent me her bio over, and it's so beautiful. Even through her bio, these parts of her chart are coming out, and I'm going to be sharing all her generator things with you. So I'd like you to welcome on LaChelle. Hi, LaChelle.
Hey, girlfriend. How are you?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much for coming on today.
Yes, I was so excited. Anytime I get a chance to spend time with you, Courtney, is a gift. So thanks for having me on today.
Oh, you're the best. I'm so excited. We'd love to get to know our coaches first. So is there a show or a book or something that you've been into lately?
Yeah, like that I'm like engulfing myself with right now, like what I'm learning and stuff. Oh my gosh.
Just anything. Like it can be light or it can be like, oh, I've dived into this like zone of genius or whatever. I don't care. You decide.
Yeah, no, oh my gosh. Like I'm such a nerd. Like I wish that I had something really fun, but I love learning about quantum physics, which is so weird. But everything to do with just like how basically science is finally catching up with scripture, which is super fascinating to me. So I love just how everything is marrying itself together, and just, yeah, I don't know. I'm such a nerd though. I know that.
I love that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so where is a favorite place that you've traveled to that you just love?
Oh my goodness. Anywhere by the beach is like my favorite, honestly. But I'm really into the national parks lately. And so my plan is next summer to literally, we're looking at either renting or buying an RV and traveling the country for 2.5 months and just seeing as much as we can see. So that's what our plan is. So yeah, I just want to see the world. I'm so wanderlust. I love to see things, but yet I'm a homebody. So either I'm like on a plane or I'm in my, comfy clothes on my couch.
Yes, working from your couch. That is the best place.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have a favorite beach that you love that you just like could go to over and over again? Because I'm totally a beach person.
I do. You know what's funny is that it's a really unassuming, but I love Daytona Beach, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not like everybody's, top favorite, but I love it. It's a super like chill, relaxed vibe there. It's not quite as hoity-toity as some of the other places that are in Florida. And so it's really chill. People are really down to earth. The beach is stunning. The water is clear. And yeah, it's just a fun place to be. So we like to go there. We go there probably at least once a year. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so great. Well, I am so excited to jump into your human design and to see this theme that's running throughout your chart. So there's 5 different design types, and one of them is a generator, and you are a generator. And I'm a projector, and one of my gifts is I have a lot of abilities to see and to feel what needs to be said or what needs to be spoken about. So when I read your chart, again, you saw the chart, you're like, there's so much to it, right?
Yeah.
So many different pieces. And my brain just can't memorize all of them, So I just look at what is it being called to talk about? What is your soul wanting you to hear? And then we'll dive into those messages. So as a generator, you have this immense sustainable energy. You have this abundance ability to work, this energy and stamina to finish tough projects, or use your energy and stamina to create new offers, to show up in your coaching program, to show up in your nursing, and to also show up wherever you want to with your family, wherever that is. You have the energy to do so. Now that is very special. That is extremely special that you can do all these things and have the energy to do it. But what you have too is you not only have the energy to work through tough projects, to hit tough goals, but you have the energy to cheer on your team while you do so. So you're surrounding yourself with a team and you cheer them on, not only cheering yourself on, but you cheer on your team as well. Now, this especially happens when you're working in your wholehearted work. It doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like, oh, here we go again, type of thing. Yeah. It's this excitement to get out of bed. It's this excitement to opening it and fueling your coaching practice and expanding this. It's energizing. It refuels you. And when you're working in your wholehearted work, you're magnetic and you draw people towards you without having to do anything extra. It's just like, hey, this is LaChelle doing her thing. And people are like a magnet to you. They want to hear what you're doing. They want to hear what your business offerings are next. They want to jump on board. And people are also in awe of what you can accomplish through all this magnetic energy, through this immense ability to hit these goals and to hit the next level. So tell me, how does your work not feel like work? How does your coaching practice doesn't feel like work because you're doing what you love?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I just really, really, really love to connect with people. And I love to just create things and see how my creations can help and bless other people. But I love the connection part of it. So I feel like whenever I'm with someone and I get a chance to like see what it is they're doing, and I don't know, Courtney, I feel like my whole life, it's like I mine diamonds out of things. Like I love to put together outfits. I love to put together, home decoration. I love to put together courses. I love to put together strategies for people that they can't see their own unique gifts. And so when I get a chance to like mine things out of people and I get a chance to help them see what they're capable of, and I get a chance to like put together this beautiful package of all the pieces of the puzzle for them that they can't see themselves, like it lights me up. And I don't know, it's just like the creation part of it. But I also feel like, you were saying with the generator thing, like I love anesthesia. That's what I do for my other career. I love being a mom. I love doing the things that I can with my kids. And so I think that the fact that I do enjoy all of those different things and I maintain the energy to make sure that I can fit all of those things into my life totally makes sense with the reading that you gave me.
That totally makes sense, because in anesthesia, you have to be right on point, and you have to show up daily. It's not like you can be like, and I have an off day. Sorry, I can't be there, Yeah. But the same thing goes for your coaching clients too, They're expecting LaChelle to show up, and you can do it, and you can show up for your family and have all those things come towards you. Now, one thing with generators that we have to watch out for, and I think sometimes it's so good to know, like, okay, what do we need to watch out for each time? Is this burnout, right?
Yeah.
Is this high grade burnout? Because you can do all the things. You pretty much signed up to do all the things.
Yeah.
And so you're like, and you want to do all the things. You have this, and we'll go more into this, but you have this drive and this willpower to do all the things.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of pile it on, right? Well, you're human, and so you're going to have that burnout, you're going to need to take care of yourself and to nurture yourself. And that is one of the greatest gifts that we can give to ourselves as business owners and as women, is to nurture ourselves and to really show up and fuel that fire that is within us. Because what happens is once we do so, it helps everybody else.
Right.
Whatever we do for ourselves helps everybody else that we come in contact with. So do you have like a weekly or a daily way that you pour into yourself that Or has this been a struggle, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that I've gotten better over time, right? I think something as simple as just learning to say no, even when something that like sounds so amazing and so much fun, I've learned to really get intuitive and say, is this the right time for this, right? Because literally, like my whole life, I've thought, oh, that project looks fun. That project looks fun. Let's do that. And then my plate fills up almost like I'm filling my plate full of dessert, right? And then I get to the point where my plate is so full and I have a stomach ache and I want to like throw it all up. Like that's kind of like how my life has always gone. Like, oh, that looks fun. That looks fun. And so I think that I've had to learn the hard way of really just asking myself and asking my higher self whether or not the timing is right for this thing. So that's probably one of the things is just literally learning to say no and having boundaries. I love naps.
Great.
I love naps. Like my friends make fun of me. They got me a cup that said competitive napper. It doesn't have to be very long, like 15 minutes, but I just love just the recharging that I get from that. And then just snuggling with my kids. That completely charges me up. And so, yeah, those are the kind of the things that I really really love to do. And then of course, I mean, you probably are the same. I have an amazing morning routine that I do that fills me up, that fuels me up, that gives me all of the intention and the energy that I need for the rest of the day, for sure.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And I love that you've given yourself that permission to do so. And do you coach your clients in that way too, to give themselves permission to refuel?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Because just like you said, if we don't take care of ourselves, like how are we ever going to take care of other people? And, I took a different anesthesia assignment just recently. Last week was my first week. And I was completely overwhelmed with all of the new things that I was learning, like even where to find the bathroom and how do I chart this? And so I was able to talk to one of my coaching clients. I'm like, here's the deal. I don't think I'm going to be able to give you my best today. Can we reschedule?
Oh,
And she's like, absolutely. Cause I wanted to make sure that I gave her my very, very best because she deserves my best when we talk. And so not only am I doing that to serve her and myself, but I'm also modeling for her that we have to be able to listen to ourselves in order for us to be able to serve in the best way. We have to be able to recognize that and to be able to act in that. So I think modeling for that is really important to the people that I work with as well.
yes. And I love that because it's really transparent. It's like, hey, this is life, I was talking to a friend and she works in finance and she was saying how that they're having to come back into the office, and her big Fortune 500 company is like, okay, we're going to have to start coming back, you guys. She's like, I don't know how I'm going to balance all of this stuff,
Yeah.
And so we talked through like, how do you build that support around yourself, but each design type needs support and some are counterintuitive, like resting and renewing,
Yeah.
and making sure that you have that for yourself and then pointing that out to your clients too. Like, hey, this is a need, not just a want. Let's give yourself permission to do this so that everything flows with ease and more power in your life.
And I love how you have such a in tune perception of all of the different design types, because I think that sometimes what I get from people all the time is, I don't know how you do it all. I don't know how you do it all. And it's like, you know what? I think that part of what drives me though is that that's fun to do all of the things, right? And so I want to just remind people to not compare themselves, to allow themselves to be sacred to their own design and to be like, okay, so she's a generator, like she loves to have a crazy life and be busy and do all of the billion things, right? But that doesn't mean that I have to too. That doesn't mean that I'm less than if I don't do all of the things. And so I think that it's so beautiful how you are able to recognize like our gifting and help us, shield ourselves from that comparison trap, right?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. And that's how, when I human design myself and when I started getting into human design, I was like, well, let me try this out on myself. And I realized, I was like, in 45 years, I feel so much better about myself in like 1 month than I have in such a long time. Because I was comparing myself to generators. My husband's a generator. I see generators and I work with tons of generators, tons of manifesting generators. And they have built-in energy supplies, whereas projectors, we do not. And so we have to create support around that, but managing those expectations is everything.
Yeah.
Everything, how we show up. Yeah, I love that. Another part of your chart is your profile. Now, a profile is your personality, and it's made up of 2 numbers, and yours is 6-2, and this is towards the top of your chart. And the first number is the way you see yourself, and the second number is the way others see you. Now, sometimes we have blind spots for how do we see ourselves operate, or how do others see us. And so the more that we can lean into these gifts, the more that the gifts will have abundance. And you know this with spirituality, right?
Yeah.
If we take a gift and we're like, oh, I don't think that's really special, and we just kind of put it off to the side, or we don't nurture it and create more with it,
right.
It kind of dies out,
Right.
Yeah. So we're nurturing ourselves. And so this number 6-2, the number 6 is a wise sage. You have innate wisdom. You're wise to life. You look inside of yourself and you have the answers, and others are meant to see you as a role model. Now, the number 2, which is the second number, the way others see you, is you're the natural. There are certain things you seem to be effortlessly good at without really knowing how you got there. There's this pressure in the world to have qualifications, but your own experience are your qualifications enough. That's all you need. And you're in your zone of genius, and that readily appears, and you just go with the flow and you can get it done. Now, when the 6-2 come together, kind of this conglomerate, you like to focus on depth and meaning. Your business is about seeing a higher standard of how things can be done better and how you can bring that into life so that others can have a better life and business of their own. There's this part where there's this kind of perfectionism of it, and you want things to ride in a certain way and be perfect, So dropping that expectation of perfectionism, knowing again that what you're doing, because you have this wise sage, because you're natural, it all comes together. It's all just inside of you. So opening up to that flow is beautiful. How have you, what are your thoughts on this gift, and how have you seen this gift?
Yeah. What's so funny, Courtney, I don't remember if you knew or not, but like my Facebook community, my branding is the Better Club.
No way. No.
And it's all about being better, doing better, and having better in life and in business. And I'm really just wanting to help people, just like I said, mine out all of the amazingness within them so that they can show up as the best versions or better versions of themselves than they were the day before. Right. And so that's so fun. And it's really interesting that you say that, because I think that it's really hard for all of us to really know how other people perceive us.
Mm-hmm.
And you just assume that that's how everybody is. You don't see how everybody sees you. And it's interesting because as a generator, like I'm always working on something, right? And I would say that some of the things that I've done have come naturally to me, but I would say most of it I've worked my butt off for, right? But it's been interesting because I do hear that a lot. Like it just seems to come easy for you, or things just seem to happen for you. And, little do they know that I'm like the little duck with the, feet flapping underneath the water and stuff. But yeah, that's really fascinating that is something that I have heard before. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, and now like you can really, see that that's a divine gift of yours. What I think is so fascinating about human design is it's not based on any other information other than our birth.
Right.
And so there's no questions that were asked. And so when we look at and this, not that human design is a personality test, but we can kind of relate it to maybe something like that, to give it some context. But it's really like when we're taking strength finders or enneagrams, and those are all super cool and they all have a place and I love them so much. Mm-hmm. But what I have thought in the past is, maybe I was hungry, and I answered the question wrong, or I was tired, or I had an off day, So my brain tends to think, well, I know this test kind of told me these strengths that I have, but I really don't think that's right. So I'm going to outthink that and just kind of cut that to the side.
Right.
This tells you, hey, this is a chart. And so the adaptability, and I'm sure with your clients, you do this too, like that brain overthinking, our gifts, over analyzing things
Yes.
really
Yes.
comes into play. And this kind of kicks it out to the curb.
Absolutely. I love that. And one of the things that I'm doing in my new anesthesia, role is epidurals for babies. And like I
Oh,
honestly, ever since I took this test with you, like every time a baby is born that I'm there, to help with that situation, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like I wonder what their chart's going to look like." It's so fun.
that is so great. I love that. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. On your chart, what also stood out to me is your emotional inner authority. Now, inner authority is our GPS, it's our guide, it's this internal clock of like, how do we make decisions best, but how do we make decisions best our way, right?
Right.
And yours is emotional. And this means that you have this constant emotional ocean. You're kind of up and down, riding this emotional wave, right? And this is not, there's no bad or goods to human design. It's just how you are.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful. And we're going to jump into your chart and see why having your defined emotions are so beautiful. So, I can't wait. So you give yourself space as you're making decisions. To not feel too high, to not feel too low. Kind of like the ocean that has that stillness and that lull time. That's what you want. You don't want to make decisions right off the bat, right? So when we look at business and life too, people are like, well, you got to make a decision really quickly. Keep up the pace. Just make a decision. Well, you can take that thought and you can kick it to the curb. And when people are asking you, hey, can you just make a decision? Just be like, hey, I haven't settled on this. I need more time.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to push yourself to make a decision, which we all do, to say, hey, you know what? I'm not settled on this. I need to give myself some more time. And allow that decision to come and resonate with you, feel into it, because you'll be shown the way about how to make that decision if once you're in that kind of stillness spot. And even when you're in that stillness, you might still think, okay, this is what we need to do, but I don't feel quite 100% on it. There'll be this more like 80%, maybe even 75 is your new 100%. So that's your new, like, okay, this is going to be fine, that type of thing. So I would love to hear how that resonates with you and what your thoughts are as you see that in your business and life.
Yeah, no, I think that it's funny because I, do a lot. And my assistants are like, okay, now what do you want to do? It's so funny. But it's like when an idea pops into my head, oftentimes I just like go and I execute it because I feel like I'm going to chicken out, or, like it's really just that, okay, I'm inspired and I have the energy right now and I don't want to like chicken out or talk myself out of it. So I go and I do it. So which would explain why I have like, a million things going on. Right. And I think that I am learning to trust myself more and say, okay, like, yes, this sounds like an amazing idea, but I love how you said that, just to take a moment and have that time with myself and say, okay, does this feel restrictive or expansive? Is this something that, I'm being called to do right now? And so timing is everything. And I feel like sometimes, again, that I, jump into things because I have the motivation or I have the idea or I have the, courage, but it's okay. Like, take the time and make the decision when it's the right time. And if it's the right, thing to do. Right.
Yeah. And if it's the right thing, it's going to stick around,
Yes.
it's going to have holding power. And so whenever we say yes to things, we also say no to other things, right? Because even as a generator, you cannot do it all. Even with your team on board, you can't do it all. So to really look at like, what are those things that are really resonating? And I love what you said. Is it expanding to me? Is it rising, or is it constricting? And that's such a great way to use this inner authority. Like, is this feeling, and what am I tapping into to help me with that? Well, it's interesting you said you had this willpower, right, to get it done, and you have the courage to get it done. That is based in your chart. That is based in the gifts that you were born with. So on your chart, there's that diagram with a person.
Yeah.
And it has all these energy centers on there. Energy centers in human design are like a lot like chakras. And human design has 9 of them. And these energy centers give us gifts that we can have with us always. So the ones that are defined are colored in, and those are stable gifts that we always have with us, that are always there, that we can lean into in different situations. When I'm going into a speaking event, I have a defined throat, which is the gift of communication and manifestation. And I think, okay, I've got this. Here we go. Just let it ease and roll, type of thing. So we can help our brain again to be like, yeah, that's right, girl, you got this, type of thing. So your centers, the ones that you have the gifts of always, are your G center, which is identity. So this identity and purpose that you have, this feeling like you're LaChelle, whether you're out in the park or you're around a bunch of friends, whether you're by yourself or you're with others, none of that really determines who you are, because you're stable in who you are, kind of this North Star, right? Now you have the heart, which is willpower. So that willpower to get things done, that almost like think of a zap thing. Like, okay, let's go,
Yep.
So you kind of have to balance that emotional inner authority with that willpower and be like, willpower, we're going to hold just for a second. I'm going to get back to you. And once you settle on that right thing, you can engage that willpower and it can go far. You have the solar plexus, which are the emotional center. We think oftentimes in business that, business is just, here we are, here's where we're going to show up strong. But emotions play into business. Emotion plays into connection. It's so beautiful. And then you have the root, which is your drive. So the gift of drive. So you see with the gift of drive and your sacral, which is your energy center, the gift of energy center, you have all these driving centers that are like, let's do this, LaChelle, let's go, They're all combining together. But then you also have the gift of the spleen. And the spleen is all about intuition and senses. So feeling into like, is this an intuitive yes? Again, is this an expansion? So you can look at your emotions and see, okay, wow, look at this. You can check it with your intuition and have another checkpoint like, yeah, my intuition is saying yes. My emotions are saying, yeah, that's a pretty good go. So let's do it, So how have you used any of these gifts within your business?
Yeah, well, I would think that, I think that the willpower and the drive just makes so much sense, right? Because like legit, like my poor assistants, they're just like, what are you doing now? Like, what are we doing now? And it makes sense though, because I feel like there's this drive within me to know that I'm given this one beautiful life and I want to make as much of a difference and impact as I can in the time I've been given. I don't want to waste any of that, right? And so I feel like one of the things that I have found that successful people do is they have this desire for better, that they make the decision to commit to it, and then they execute, they get things done. And I think that oftentimes we hold ourselves back from success by just not implementing. And so I think that that's possibly something that I've been able to not only do for myself, but help other people figure out how they can execute, how they can get into action, even if they don't have, some of these same willpower and drive gifts that I do. So
yeah, well, and that brings up such a good point, because you have these gifts, you can impart these gifts and this pathway of how you utilize those gifts to other people. So like, I only have two defined centers. It's the throat and the identity. But when we're talking, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm going to go out there and get my next offer on the table, because I have it all down. I just need to do it to the next thing. So I'm writing almost your gift and your impartment of the power of that gift. And so, yes, when you're connecting with others and you're coaching others, that gift shines and it goes into their influence as well, and they can harness that gift and ride that. So it's beautiful to not have that defined center, but to find a tribe of people that do, where you can really feel that and you have that. So of course your coaching clients are going to have that access too, which is so cool.
Yeah, that is so fascinating, Courtney, because the thing that I concentrate on with my clients is number one, giving them the certainty, the clarity on what it is that they want to do. So that brings the identity and all the things that and the emotional center and that confirmation into that makes sense. And I really try to help them with confidence, and I help them with consistency, right? And so I guess I can see how all of those things really do work well with everything that you're telling me today.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. Another part of your chart that spoke to me and is your channel. Now, channels are a line that go from two defined centers, and they kind of light each other up, like almost like a lightning bolt, right?
Okay.
You're a pathway. Now, channels give us gifts and flavors of our personality that we can utilize and harness. You have the 4037, which is the heart, starting from the heart to the solar plexus. So again, this willpower to your emotion center. And this is the love of communion with a tribe. This is your giving to the tribe. You're a creator of a tribe, and it means a lot to you to have a soul family, not only your own family, but this soul family surrounding you. Okay, you're nodding.
100%. Yes. Yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
No, I mean, that's just it. Like, I mean, honestly, my entrepreneurial journey started when I started network marketing 6 years ago, right? It was the first time in my life where I felt like I was part of this tribe of people who all had a similar like mission of making an impact in the world and making their lives and the people that they care about better. And since then, I've gone on to create different communities. I have a membership community within my own that it is like my favorite thing to connect with them and to build them up and to just when you're around other people that have the same energetic, vibration and passion and heart, like I light up. I light up being around people that are part of my tribe. So
oh, that's amazing. Yeah. And that plays in with your generator energy. Like it refuels you. It's almost like putting more gas in the tank. It's like,
yeah,
you come off of those like energized, no matter what time of day is it or whatever else you've done. It's like, that's your goal. And so as you surround yourself with that, it's a vital part of your mission here in your life and in your business. Now, going on with that, there's another channel. It's 596, and this is from your emotions to your energy center. Okay. And this is the feeling of attunement with closeness with others. This bond making that you really want to be connected with, facilitating closeness, breaks through people's reservations of like, oh, I'm not sure, but you can connect. So whether you're in a post or you're in a story, you're on a live and people are watching, you can make those real connections in those communities and in those events. And you're a good connector with other humans. That's your gift, is that connection. How has that gift enhanced your coaching practice and making connections?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, like I don't even know how to describe it, to be honest with you. Like it is just this deep energetic connection that I have with people, and I genuinely like want them to know that they're the most important person, the most important thing to me in this moment. And I tend to, lean in, and I tend to just do active listening and mirroring and doing the things that I can to make them feel that they're important to me. I also love to be vulnerable and authentic so that they understand like I'm going to be right there alongside of them. I love connecting with people. And that's actually something that, people had asked me when I started to go into anesthesia years and years ago, if I was really, wanting to do that because I'm such a people person. But what I was trying to explain to them is that when I get the chance to have somebody know, like, and trust me in less than 5 minutes, like literally I have their life in my hands and I get to connect with them in this smallest bit of time, but they know that I'm going to be their protector and I'm going to be there to make sure that they're okay. Like that is so fulfilling to me, to make those deep connections in a fast way, that it fills me up.
I'm getting goosebumps. That's so beautiful. And that's really like having that gift and that ability crosses demographics. It crosses country lines. It doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. When they're in your sphere of influence, they're going to feel that. And leading with that gift is going to create this expansion and this fulfillment within you that just makes all the difference. It makes all the difference. Okay, there's one more part of your chart that I wanted to dive into, and we could go on and on and on. This is just great. But it's your gate, and gates are halfway. They go halfway to an energy center. They can start on undefined energy centers, the white centers, or they can be on defined centers, the colored in centers. But they still bring gifts and things that we can lean into even more to accelerate and have that velocity and that fulfillment in our businesses. So yours, the first one is the solar plexus, your emotion center, and it's 55. And this is feeling the fulfillment of life. You're called to feel good about life. Like you look at life as a great, beautiful, bountiful picture. And people are like, how does she have this outlook? I want some more of that, right? And we know, I mean, it's not because you haven't had an easy life, which I'm not saying because I don't know your deep story.
Right. Yeah, no.
Who isn't, you know? Come on. We live in a world, so we're going to get beat up, you know? And then you have this other gate, which is 36, and it's in the same coming off your emotion center. And it's solving emotional issues. You learn how to solve your problems through your emotions, utilizing those emotions as a guide. They give you clues about how to solve that next problem. So it's kind of think about it as this intuitive nature, but you're using those signs and looking at things that life is good. Let's point in this direction and see what life can offer to us. Now, emotions in business is good. It's good to have those emotions and those checkpoints. It leads to authenticity. And how have you used those authenticity and emotions to, I guess, further your business and to expand?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, just in my connectedness with people, I really do want to expose my vulnerability and my authenticity and allowing them to see, you know, my imperfections, because I always want people to understand that I'm going to walk alongside of them. I'm not going to talk at you. I'm going to sit with you. Right. And I think that that allows that to happen, right? If we can just be human ourselves and just genuinely care for other people, we can walk alongside of them on their journey.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it becomes this co-creation of what is next and right for the person, you know, like just like personalized within their space of how can we move you, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Well, LaChelle, this has been beautiful. And again, we could go on and on about your beautiful chart, but really like looking at how these emotions, this connection really drive your business to the next level and to expansion and to the beautiful places that it has been and that it's going is so beautiful because you bring these divine gifts to the table. You're helping your clients to really become and to stand on their own and to have the support around them that they need at this time. So where can people find you and connect with you? We'd love to get to know where they can connect with you.
Oh, thanks. So I just make it easy. I brand myself as my name. So I'm branded on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, all the things are my brand is just my name. And then the Better Club is where I would love to connect with you on a deeper level. So inside the Better Club, we are literally a tribe of people who want to connect with you. We want to help walk alongside of you, cheer you on, encourage you, support you in order to help you be better, do better, and have better in life and in business. So the Better Club would be an amazing. And then I have the Unstuck podcast, which is always a great place to go if you're feeling stuck and you need some inspiration and some hope and some practical tools to get unstuck. So,
oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, and that's so you know, like as you were telling me, I'm like, that is so her. That's so awesome. This has been great. Thank you, LaChelle, so much for coming on today. Thank you so much. It's been beautiful. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Courtney.
Yeah.
Bye, girl.
Okay, there we go. All right, well, I'm just going to continue for 1 second because I can't remove you, so we'll just hang tight. You guys, wasn't that incredible? So amazing and so beautiful. And I'm so grateful to have LaChelle and show her gifts, what she is doing with her generator self. Now, we just released another podcast today episode, and it is stunning. It's a generator, and it's Laura Flair, and her episode is I Let My Intuition Determine My Next Steps. So make sure you jump on the podcast and drop podcast below, and we'll get you that link. But let's rise to thrive. We'll see you guys next time. Okay. All right, my mouse is stuck for some reason, so let's see. I'm just gonna go like this. This is how we do